If you're looking for some of the best old-fashioned burgers and cakes in town, Lotta Burger is the place to go for all of your favorites. Lotta Burger, 2260 South 3rd, Memphis, Tennessee, 901-946-2001. They're open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. And the items on their menu include single doubles, triple burgers, Philly sandwiches, smoked sausage, beef hot dogs, grilled cheese, tenders, fries, onion rings, and more. Call-in orders must be done before 11 a.m. No calls accepted after 11 a.m. Drive-thru is available. Hungry for a burger? Lotta Burger, 2260 South 3rd, Memphis, Tennessee, 901-946-2001. Don't just settle for any burger, get a Lotta Burger.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges so you can make the changes now to avoid the negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
Graphic Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copy, resume, funeral program, rubber stamp, full color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30 plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. C Graphics Printing.
CJU's Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks will tell you they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJU's Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Southern Avenue, here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 South Avenue. C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or a mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or a mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or a mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
CJU's Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks will tell you they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJU's Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances. CJU's Appliances, located at 3530
Graphic Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copy, resume, funeral program, rubber stamp, full color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30 plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphic Printing.
CJU's Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call
Graphic Printing, located at 890 East Range Road.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges, so you can make changes now to avoid a negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
And good morning again, and welcome to Talk Back Live in the morning. It is now 8:09, 9 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock Central Time, and a very pleasant good morning to you on a Wednesday morning. Yes, a lovely Wednesday morning, and starting your day off at 44 degrees under a mostly sunny sky in the Memphis, Tennessee area. Beautiful day to start your day, and I tell you what, we have lined up for you today. Hot topics of discussion, news that you could use, local, national, international, and the number to 901-213-6020. Again, the number to call is 901-213-6020. And tell you what, all of you are starting to check in with us already, and appreciate you checking in. And we have great topics coming up today. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Bob. Good morning, everybody out there listening, watching, tuning in, however you may be checking us out, man. Another great show we got lined up for you today, as Bob said, man, and ready to get it popping, cracking, rolling, kicking, jumping, screaming, yelling, all of that stuff on this Wednesday morning, man, and everybody that's saying good morning to us and everybody else that is listening and doing what you do, man. So we appreciate that very, very much. And we're ready to get this thing cracking, man. So real quick, follow us on our social media. Twitter, TalkBackLive. One word, Back Live. Facebook, TalkBackLive with Bob and Josh. That's page number 1. TalkBackLive Network, page number 2. And WTBL, TalkBackLive Network, page number 3. Follow us on all of those social media pages, and you can keep up with everything TalkBackLive related. And the station is growing by leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all stay on for the ride, and you'll be glad that you did, as some folks say.
Yes, indeed. And hey, we want to get ready to start it all off, Josh. And into the topics again. The number to call is 901-6020, or you can hit us up on Facebook or on the Spreaker app, Spreaker. You can let people know that they're not on Facebook. They can download us, the Spreaker app, and once they download it, it's one word, Talk Back Live, and hit the star there to when one of our other shows come on this station. Whenever a show, any show comes on this station, you'll be notified that something's going on with Talk Back Live Network. All right, there we go, got it out. Starting your day off 44 degrees, and let's get it rolling, Josh.
Yes, sir. Let's get into the headlines.
And in the headlines today, okay, that's what I'm pointing
I don't want the picture.
Yes. In the headlines, we've got, a lot of things going on in the headlines. Well, we have to select a few topics to talk about. Some strange things in the news, and we know it's one of those things that happen. Well, we're here to talk about it and try to explain and make some sense out of something, but as you know, some things just can't make sense of. Well, let's talk about it. Josh, this morning we start out our show, our topics with a 21-year-old riding her bike on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
What is that all about? Riding a bike on the wrong side of the road, and what does that have to do with police?
Well, the police saw a said situation and said, "Hey, you gotta, we need to." Led to a what some are calling a police incident. This is University of Oregon State University. That is a student who just happens to be a black female. And the NAACP has gotten involved, saying this is another racial situation.
Wait a minute. Who's gotten involved?
The NAACP.
Oh, are they still around?
Yes.
Okay.
They out here, and they decided to make their face known, at least the NAACP from that area of the country.
Oh.
They cover, according to what I saw, Oregon, Alaska, and other areas up there. So they came out and said, hey, this is a travesty of justice, and we cannot allow this to go on. We shall overcome, and things of that nature. So you'd have to see the situation for yourself. I'm not going to make a prejudged decision as of right now, before y'all see the video, that is. But I want y'all to see it and determine what you think about this situation. Because
when are some of these people that are over the NAACP and some of these preachers going to stop trying to talk like Dr. Martin Luther King? I mean,
that does seem like a bad habit. And again, I kind of want you to save that for afterwards.
Yes.
So they'll see what you're talking about.
Okay, take a listen to this story, folks. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a listen to this, and you'll see what I'm saying. And the other things that are going on in this particular audio, video, whatever you're taking a look at here. Folks.
And
I mean,
just 1 second here.
Yeah. But this is I don't know how to explain this situation. We'll just let you take a listen to it, take a look at it, and then you give us your opinion, okay? And whenever you're ready, Josh.
Yes.
All right, let's take a listen to it, folks, and we'll be back.
All right. And here we go.
Okay, he's not ready. Are you ready?
It's kind of crazy, but here we go.
All right, here we go, folks. Right. Take a listen to this.
And tonight, the NAACP is calling it inhumane.
The arrest month while the student was simply riding her bicycle. Our Valina Jones breaking down the nearly 40 minutes of footage and why this is all causing a controversy. Valina?
Well, that's right, Jennifer. You know, that student was arrested for interfering with a police officer. Now, the NAACP tells us tonight that they say she is the victim in all of this. OSP says they released all that body cam footage in the name of transparency.
You're not complying with a lawful order.
No, I think I just asked the information on that order.
That is 21-year-old Oregon State student Genesis Hansen being questioned by an Oregon State police after he says she was riding her bike on the wrong side of the road.
Who are in a police uniform often abuse their power and the rules that they have. All I am asking is for you to show me the rule of this violation that I have.
Officers from OSP and Corvallis PD demanded her identification. Hansen body cam footage shows what happened next.
I need you to either give me your identification now or you're going to be placed under arrest. Which?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, you're under arrest.
I don't answer questions.
Stop!
Stop! Stop! Stop! Stop!
Okay, you are under arrest. 831, send us more. Stop!
Those standing by pleaded with officers to use less force.
We are being gentle. She's not.
The OSP officer?
I tried in every way I could to not let it go here.
Claims he used minimal force to place Hansen into custody.
She tried to from us when we put her in custody. There was minimal force, just overpowering her.
The NAACP says this video
Stop!
shows a different story, calling the arrest unlawful and
we understand that this is inhumane and unjust treatment across America. Should not and will not be tolerated here or anywhere else.
They are asking the Benton County DA's office to withdraw the charges against Hansen and for the police departments to issue an apology.
Even though we realize that the entire population is not racist of Corvallis, we do understand that racism and we the people of the people for the people must see that it is annihilated.
The Oregon State Police tell us that actions are being taken seriously, saying they are, quote, committed to eliminating racial profiling and implicit bias in policing. Now, the NAACP plans to take immediate civic action to make sure that their demands are met. Back to you.
Okay, wow. That video, I wouldn't mind seeing it again and listening to it again.
Yeah, definitely.
901-213-6020. Again, 901-213-6020. And comments are coming in on Facebook as we speak. What do you think, folks? Who do you think is in violation here? They stopped the young lady for riding her bike, where? In the streets or?
Yeah, well, they said the wrong side.
The wrong side of the street. Yeah. I mean, wow.
You know, it's funny, a situation like that. It escalated quickly, I tell you.
Yeah, but you know, the wrong side of the street. First of all, why would the police stop her? I don't know. Is there a law of riding the bike on the wrong side of the street? I don't know. I'm asking. Maybe somebody can help me. Are you supposed to be going to meet the traffic, riding a bicycle or something on the street? Or something like that. But at any rate, they pulled her over or stopped her for riding the bike on the wrong side of the street. Now, here's the other thing.
Yes.
When they asked her for her ID, and, and all this other kind of stuff, she refused.
Mm-hmm.
At that particular point, I think now she is in violation. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't think they tried to arrest her. I think they just wanted to see her ID. But when she refused to give her ID, then they said, well, if you don't give us your ID, we can identify who you are. This is basically what they're saying. Then we have to place you on arrest because we don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they have to know who she is? Just for riding the bike on the wrong side. Well, if they committed a violation, then they have to ask for ID or something, to identify who they're dealing with, or just to make a report. But if she refused to give the ID, then that makes things a little more difficult. I think if she would have given her ID, it probably would not have escalated to this point.
Yeah, that's the thought. And it's kind of funny. You already know this is going to get a certain type of response.
Yeah.
Because if you heard when they actually physically detained her.
Yeah.
You heard the screams of horror around the area.
Yeah.
People were watching.
Right.
To see what would happen.
Yeah.
And it's, oh no, we're seeing another one.
Oh no, what? I mean, if she refused to give her ID to let them know who she was, what is the oh no about? I mean, what? Oh no, another person breaks the law by not obeying the law, what they ask her to do.
Yeah.
It's simply to show her ID. If you're of a certain age, especially if she's 21 years old, she should have at least some type of ID, state ID, if not a driver's license.
That's true. And I guess one of the things I can't help but think, though, is if you're talking about a bike, right? It's not like, she was breaking into somebody's house or something. Now, if it's the law.
If it's the law, I don't know. If it's the law, if it's against the law to ride her bike on the wrong side of the street, then she was in violation. They pulled her, they stopped her and said, okay, you're riding on the wrong side of the street. It may be for her own good that somebody, if she's riding on the wrong side of the street, somebody may bump into her, knock her over, or whatever the case may be. She needs to ride on the right side of the street so she can be, seen, or so that people that are driving will not be able to hit her or run over her, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So, in this particular case, were they in the right here, and were they trying to really protect her if she was riding on the wrong side of the street? But it can be turned into a situation by the way
they handled her after she refused to obey the officers by giving her identification. And she's, says she don't answer questions, and so they, she refused to give her ID to me, what she basically did.
Yeah.
And so the officers had to put her on arrest.
That's true. And if you don't mind, I know you're talking about playing it again. Do you want to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, go ahead and do it one more time. Let's play it again and listen at this very, very good, carefully, folks. And then we'll take a listen. We'll be back after this. To Talk Back Live. It is now 8:24, 24 minutes the hour of 8 o'clock Central Time. And a very pleasant good morning to you on a Wednesday morning. Take a listen to this and give us your opinion. Listen. Take a listen.
New body cam video just released shows the arrest of a 21-year-old black Oregon State student, and tonight the NAACP is calling it inhumane.
The arrest happened earlier this month while the student was simply riding her bicycle. Our Valina Jones breaking down the nearly 40 minutes of footage and why this is all causing a controversy. Valina?
Well, that's right, Jennifer. That student was arrested for interfering with a police officer. Now, the NAACP tells us tonight that they say she is the victim in all of this. OSP says they released all that body cam footage in the name of transparency.
You're not complying with a lawful order.
No, I think I just asked for you to provide me information on that order.
That is 21-year-old Oregon State student Genesis Hansen being questioned by an Oregon State police officer after he says she was riding her bike on the side of the road.
Men who are in a police uniform often abuse their power and the rules that they have. All I am asking is for you to show me the rule of this violation that I have.
Officers from OSP and Corvallis PD demanded her identification. Hansen refused. Body cam footage shows what happened next.
I need you to either give me your identification now or you're going to be placed under arrest. Which do you want to do?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, you're under arrest.
I don't answer questions.
Stop!
Stop! Stop! Stop! Stop!
Okay, you are under arrest. 831, send us more. Stop!
Those standing by pleaded with officers to use less force.
We are being gentle. She's not.
The OSP officer
I tried in every way I could to not let it go here.
claims he used minimal force to place Hansen into custody.
She tried to pull away from us when we put her in custody. There was minimal force, just overpowering her.
The NAACP says this video
Stop!
shows a different story, calling the arrest unlawful and inhumane.
We understand that this inhumane and unjust treatment across America should not and will not be tolerated here or anywhere else.
They're asking the Benton County DA's office to withdraw the charges against Hansen and for the police departments to issue an apology.
Even realize that the entire population is not racist of Corvallis. We do understand that racism exists. And we, the people of the people, for the people, must see that it is annihilated.
The Oregon State Police tell us that allegations are being taken seriously, saying they are, quote, committed to eliminating racial profiling and implicit bias in policing. Now, the NAACP plans to take immediate civic action to make sure that their demands are met. Back to you.
Wow, the NAACP comes out of hiding. Where have they been?
Well, all I got to say with this guy is, longevity has its place.
Yeah, well, they need to stop trying to talk like Dr. Martin Luther King and really get down to business, okay? But this particular situation here, Josh, this black female riding on the wrong side of the road, if she's riding on the wrong side of the road and the police officer stop her for a violation, could this violation be to help her? Now, let's say, for instance, if you're riding with the traffic, I don't know if that's against the law, whichever one side of the, I don't know. Okay, if you're riding on the wrong side of the road and you're vulnerable to getting hit by a car, then if a person hits you, then you don't want to get hit by a car riding on the wrong side of the road. That's probably why they stopped her.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, because if you're riding on with the traffic on a bicycle, then you're probably subject to get hit. But if you're riding on the road facing a car, then the car can see you, but I don't know.
See if we plugged in there.
Welcome to the show. Good morning on a whoa. Let's see. Let's get you welcome to the show first. All right, now we got you. Welcome to the show. Good morning on a Wednesday. Good. Turn him up, son.
It's up, man. I don't think it's all the way in there.
Oh. Wait. Hold on. Live on the air. Hang on, sir. Okay, now we may have.
Yeah, I think we got you.
There we go. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, very good.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, God. Good morning. I can hear you as well. My mind takes me back to slave patrols. The sheriffs were created during slavery to bring back runaway slaves, and they wore a star or a badge, that looks like what sheriffs wear today. Point star. I may be mistaken about the number of points, but the point is, this reminds me of that. Yes, there is a law that identify yourself, just as if a controller saw a black person in the woods or by the river, they had to identify themselves. And if they didn't have a letter identifying who they were with and who they belonged to, that they could be detained. And this is the same thing. Perhaps they used her riding on the wrong side of the street as a probable cause, that would be a legal term, to stop her and ask her for her ID.
Wait. Who are you, sir? I welcomed you to the show for the first time, and I really appreciate your call. I didn't get your name. What's your name?
My name is Cliff Stockton, Stockton.
Okay. What does this have to do with slavery?
I was just saying that this goes back to that, how they stopped slaves and asked for identification to them identify themselves or who they were.
Okay, but now if all, whoever you are, if you don't have identification to be identified, they need to identify you. In some states, if you don't have ID on you, period, they will take you to jail to be identified if you've broken some type of a law. So where you're coming from here, you're trying to make this a black thing. This is not a black thing as far as having an identification. Everybody has to have identification if you're of a certain age to be identified.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that's what it goes back to. I'm just relating that to that. I'm not saying that it's not the law. I know it is the law. I'm just saying it goes back to that. They used that back in slavery days to detain people, and they're still using it today. That's my point, sir.
Okay, so that to detain people today, if the police detain somebody, that's a slavery law.
And that's where it came from.
Well, I mean, they
Slave
have to.
patrol.
I mean, as a police officer, you have to detain at a certain point. Probably they have to detain them if things are not going the way they should go. Don't you think? Okay, there he goes.
Well, you might have lost him.
You might have lost him, but if you want to finish your conversation, you can call back in. But I don't understand what you're trying to say as far as a person being detained is some type of slavery law. Well, but the thing about it is, if a person do not, what's the word I'm trying to say? If a person do not meet the requirement, or they don't want to give their identification, or if they break a law and don't want to abide by the officer's rule, then that's not slavery when an officer detains you. I mean, you're not wanting to obey what the officer said.
Well, and
I don't care if you're white or black.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that. But anyway.
But that real quick, just
go ahead.
To get in for a second. I think, out there, and I've heard a lot of people use that point, and they use that point really for police as a whole, right?
Right.
With the chasing, and some people even say with the dog tactics, goes back to slavery and everything. I'm like this, man. Look, it's law enforcement, so that's kind of what they're supposed to do. I don't know if it's fair to draw the parallels. And the only reason that you're drawing that parallel, to be realistic, is because you're trying to say that this is the same type of situation. I think that's what he's trying to say, without saying it.
Cliff Stockton.
Okay, go ahead. I think we lost you. Go ahead, Cliff. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We got disconnected, but I did not say that was slavery. I was simply saying that the means that they used to detain the young lady came from slavery. That was my point, sir.
I got you now. Let me ask a direct question. So, as far as this situation in this day and age, how do you feel about it? The way it went down?
Well, I think that the officers, the reason that they stopped her was petty. First of all. Mm-hmm. And secondly, I think it was an instance of racial profiling.
Okay, hold on, Cliff. If somebody else is trying to call in, we would like to answer you at this time, but we cannot answer you at this time. So call back after Cliff is off the line. Go ahead, Cliff. Make your point.
Yeah, brief so the other caller can call in.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I think it was not wrong. The officer was not wrong for stopping her. I just think the reason was petty. Mm-hmm. I believe it was racial profiling. I do believe they used excessive force to detain a young lady that probably looked to me that didn't weigh 110 pounds.
Okay, but why do you think she resisted and refused to show her ID then?
Well, I just think she was just probably being belligerent and radical and whatnot, which we do, and we're living in a time and a day now where black people especially are at a high alert about police activity and wrongdoing in the way that they handle people. I mean, we have many examples of people getting shot by the police. We got video of a black man getting shot he was with his wife, I believe, and his child was in the back, and he was shot.
And let me say this. Let me say this. I do acknowledge those things, and I do agree with you that if certain things like that are done, it is wrong, and I'm not denying that. But in this particular case, when law enforcement asks you for your ID, it doesn't make it better. It makes it worse when you resist.
I think so.
And then rather than just going through and obeying the officer, if nothing really is going on bad, the officer's not mistreating you or anything of that nature, even though let's say for instance, it may have been a racist thing why he stopped her. Mm-hmm. Okay, but when he asked her for some identification, at that particular point, she should have obeyed and abide by the rules. All those other people standing around were there to watch. She should have obeyed and sped up the process, I think. But by not obeying, I think she made it worse.
Well,
and it gave them a reason.
Yeah, it legitimately gave them a reason.
Yes,
yeah.
I agree that she exaggerated the situation.
Right.
I am a black man. Okay. I have three black boys or men, and my father was black, and he told me, just like I told my sons and my children, to comply with them. Say yes, sir. Say no, sir. Be as nice as you possibly can, being a black person, because this was, my dad told me this in the 60s and 70s. You know, so
Yes,
things have accelerated as far as police brutality, as far as excessive force are concerned. We have many examples of that. But yes, I believe she did exacerbate the situation, but I also believe that they excessive force in handling that young lady. I'll hang up so next caller can come in. God bless you and have a great day on purpose.
Hey, man, thank you for the call. All right, 012136020. Yes.
If I could say to your point that you were making about the stop and everything, here's the thing to me. Let's say, and you can't rule it out, right? The racial motivation, what it was or wasn't, we don't know.
Right.
But what we do know is that in most cases, and we've heard this from the past, and I, would be curious if anybody wants to give some thoughts on that. In most cases, if, it doesn't really matter what the circumstance is, they can ask you for your ID and you have to give it to them, or else they can detain you. So you don't want to give them a reason. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
And like legitimately, I don't think they would have had any to detain her at all.
Right.
Like if she would have gave them ID, they literally couldn't have do nothing to her except maybe give her a citation or something. I mean,
sometimes.
Nick Williams.
Hey, Nick, welcome to the show. Good morning on a Wednesday.
All right, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. You?
All right, I'm just listening to you, and I have a comment I'd like to say.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if you could, I think you have something running in the background there. If you could lower it just a little bit.
Okay. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good.
Go ahead with your comment.
My comment is that, from what I see from the video, first of all, the police blew the situation out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen police officers say that, they'll pull you over, say, you're doing something wrong. Okay, correct it and move on.
Okay.
Now I've seen there, young lady, she did maybe go escalate a little bit, but sometimes, like Mr. Cliff Stockton said, you have to stroke their ego sometimes in order to just go on and let the situation go away.
Honestly,
And I feel as if that, in a sense, the policeman was kind of profiling. Because, like, I've seen videos where a police pull over and say a white man who has a video on his car, and they pull up to him, he says, I'm not answering any questions. Can I see your ID? I'm not giving you my ID. I'm not answering any questions. And then at the end of the situation, they just walk away and let him go. So from this situation, seeing that with a black young lady, whereas a white man going through the same situation but in a car, I feel that was profiling. And it shouldn't even went that far.
Yeah, but I respect your answer. I really do. Your comment, but here's the thing: if we know, and you're Nick, right?
Yeah.
Nick,
right.
Look, Nick. If we know the situation that's going on out there, we should try to not to help escalate the situation by saying, okay, I have a right. She had many witnesses standing by, okay, that were watching. Okay, and then that particular situation, she should have just did what the officers asked her to do, show her application, and then let the situation just blow over. Okay, but I think a lot of times we need to teach our young black people rather than saying, okay, the police officers are wrong, they're treating you wrong, and that's fine. We can let them know that, okay? Right. But we also let them know if you are stopped by a police officer, these are the things that you need to abide by.
Yeah.
These are the things we need to help train them in that area as well, so that they don't if we just train them on one side, hey, the police officers hate you, the police officers don't like you, they're going to pull you over, they're going to try to, if we say those negative things to them, then we're causing them to be on the defense. When they get stopped by a police officer, they're ready to fight.
The worst can happen.
But we also need to teach them on all sides of it. Okay, you're to obey them if they ask for an ID or driver's license, whatever the case may be. And when the officers pull you over, even it may be racially motivated, but if you do what they say in a lot of cases, it can't really escalate in most cases, it won't escalate to the worst because you're complying with what they're asking you to do, especially if you have witnesses around.
I think the best case, and I know, Nick, you probably didn't see us yesterday. It might be the first time you've actually seen our show. But I know yesterday we talked about the situation with the man in Arizona that was pulled over for air freshener in his car.
Yeah.
Clearly that was racially motivated.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and what we talked about, he complied to the degree, to the most degree, really.
He really.
But he did legally what he was not obliged to do, and because the officer wanted to search his car, and he said, "No, I'm not going to let you search my car."
Now, see, at that point, when the officer wanted to search his car, he didn't have a warrant to search the guy's car, and the guy had a right to tell him, "No, I'm not going to allow you, permit you to search my car."
Because he probably would have planted. I think we.
Yeah, I think
Nick,
we lost.
if you're listening, Nick, call back. That's might have.
I don't know what happened.
But like I said, in that situation, we feel it was pretty likely that guy would have planted something in his car.
Oh, yes, more than likely. I believe this guy would have.
We're not acknowledging.
But as far as asking for an ID,
that's not unreasonable.
That's not unreasonable. But for a guy to say, "Okay, I'm going to search your car," he didn't have a reason to search this guy's car. Now with this young lady riding on the wrong side of the street, if that's the case, if it was racial profiling, he pulls her over and to stop, but she had a lot of witnesses around. Mm-hmm. Okay, at that particular point, she in her ID identification rather than making the situation worse.
And I'm gonna tell you, the takedown. I can't lie. Looking at the what people saying the takedown, it did look kind of ridiculous. I was thinking in my mind, like, man, what are we doing here? Come on now.
Okay.
Why are we tackling a little girl? And I know she's not a little girl, but she's rather
21 years old. Yeah. But okay, here's the point. Sometimes these small people can be strong.
Yeah.
But now here's the point. She was resisting.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it probably led to that.
Led to that. So if she had complied with the officers and showed her ID and went on down the line as far as things were concerned, like I said, she had witnesses around.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have escalated or, went to this point. So, but at any rate, 901-213-6020 is the number to call.
And Nick,
we'll get to you in a second. Yes, go ahead, Josh.
And Nick, if you're still watching, you can call in. Did not intentionally, but you can call back if you get the opportunity. And anybody else, you can call in as well.
Yeah. And the story we're talking about is a 21-year-old girl was riding her bike on the wrong side of the road, the police officer says, and he gives her and asks her for her ID. She refused after he pulled her over and said she was riding on a bicycle on the wrong side of the road.
And
now, could that be for a safety reason? If a person's riding on a bike on the wrong side of the road, could they get hit by a car? And, if they're riding with the traffic, the bicycle, they don't know who's coming up behind them. If they're riding facing the traffic on the other side of the road, they can see the traffic coming toward them and, they won't be able to swirl out into the road. But if they're riding with the traffic, the chances of them swirling out into the road, and they can't see who's coming up behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So it presents a danger to them. So was the officer, was this a racist move here, or did the officer, was he really concerned about the person her riding a bicycle along on the wrong side of the road, not being able to see the traffic, and she could have been injured, could have been hit, and not able to see what's coming up behind her.
Now, in the interest of fairness, I want to look up exactly, right, with the ID, the identification situation.
In Oregon?
Well, I hadn't seen Oregon yet.
Okay.
But I need to look specifically in Oregon. I see in some states, like in Wisconsin, right? Yeah. It just popped up here in Wisconsin. But it said if the police ask you to show your ID and you have not been detained or taken into custody, you are not legally required to show them your ID in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Now, that's the situation happened in Oregon, so I don't know if that applies there. But it is interesting that that's a law somewhere.
Okay. All right. Good morning on a Wednesday.
Hello, sir.
Welcome to the show.
This is Nick Williams again. I think we got cut off earlier.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Nick. I don't know what happened there, but welcome.
No problem.
Yeah, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, like I was saying, to me, she did escalate the situation. But like my mother and father had said, that as I was growing up, you have to pick and choose your battles.
Okay.
Sometimes some of the battles are not worth fighting. Sometimes you just let go and live to fight another day.
Mm-hmm.
But Nick, when you're constantly told that if a white officer pulls you over and you're constantly being told that they're profiling you, is a racist move, or that the reason they pulled you over, when you're being constantly told those things, then people would get offended. They would get upset, and then when an officer pulls them over, I think we lost Nick again. I don't know. Maybe he's going under a bridge or something in an area where he gets cut off. But at any rate, you know, when they're told to do something, to do the right thing, and we don't tell them to do the right thing, then they can get into a situation.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, here's from the ACLU organization of Oregon, and it states what your rights are. I'll read that after Nick.
Nick Williams again.
Nick,
Okay,
I'm
Nick.
sorry. I don't know what's going on, but hey, we
no
got you
problem,
back.
man.
We got
No
you back.
problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I know it causes frustration being caused with profiling and getting ridiculed about tension, but it causes tension. But I was in the and my comrades would do the same with me, you know, white, black, and you felt intimidated. So it's something you get used to, but you just, like I say, you have to pick and choose your. Sometimes you can fight a war, end up losing, and cause you more, where you can fight a war, as much. Either way it goes, it's, like I said, I'm taking me personally. All right, me is trying to fight the system. The system has already got this stuff in control. You see, it's up to me. Some pinholes and pitfalls they put in front of me. We just kind of trying to mess with my mentality, get me frustrated, get me out of my personality in order to fight back, so they can put a number behind my back and put me behind the sale. So think about it, you have to outsmart them and outthink them.
Right. That's what you have to do.
I agree.
But I guess if you know, if what we're taught today, some young people are taught, they feel they have to fight back and then deal with it later in another situation, another area, to where they don't have to, you know, get themselves in a position to where they're resisting arrest or disobeying an officer or whatever the case may be.
Now, if I was a young lady, instead of doing that, I would give her my ID, but I said I would also like to have his sergeant present.
Okay.
And make my voice my complaint to him that I was being harassed.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was harassing her.
Okay.
She didn't pick the right method of fighting back. Because they always got the right to let me get the supervisor up here, because I'd rather talk to him, because I'm not getting a complete understanding with you. So I'd rather have a superior over you, and maybe we can diffuse this situation that's growing.
Okay, maybe Nick, you can help me out here, because we're saying that he was unfair to her, right? Okay,
sir.
You saying that he was unfair to her? He by stopping her or asking for ID?
No, and I felt like beginning, officer should have just stopped and said, "Hey, you're on the wrong side of the road," because maybe she did not know the laws of riding a bicycle on the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he should have said, "Okay," you know, he could have just said, "Okay, you're on the wrong side of the road, so get on the other side and carry on your way." Okay, so
Right.
thank you, officer. My apologies. Gone. But he wants to go further. Your ID, because I know he's profiling. That shows the fact that he's profiling right there.
Mm-hmm.
You're pulling a 21-year-old. She on a car. She's on the bike.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I do think that was a bit extra.
Yeah.
Man, don't you have something better else to do? Can't you go around the corner and eat some donuts or something? You know, that's great.
But even though that you know, if he did it, okay, the officer did it. I mean, we can't take that back.
Gotcha.
But and let's say this happened to someone else around the country, another black person. How are we going to tell them, and what should we tell them, or how should we tell them how they're to respond to this type of situation? Are we going to tell them, okay, if that officer pulls you over, you're riding the bike on the wrong side of the street, did we lose him again?
I think so.
That is wrong, or should we just tell them so that they don't end up in a situation to listen to what the officer said?
To be clear, and I know Nick's kind of has said something to that point already, that you should comply, and that, that he felt that she was being a little too, belligerent in some situations. Mm-hmm. So I kind of feel like we got a feel, and he can still answer if he wants to.
Yeah.
But now, real quick, it may
turn
ring.
my volume up a little bit.
Call from
Nick Williams again.
Okay, sorry about that,
It's
Nick.
me again.
Yeah, you're back.
Back in the building.
Okay, go ahead with what you were saying.
Okay, my opinion now. How we can teach these younger people today?
Yeah.
Is the situation calm? First of all, always maintain your calmness and maintain a certain amount of intelligence. Because as long as you carry your intelligence, that's the worst thing you can. That's the best thing you beat anybody with is your intelligence.
Yeah.
And never let them see you sweat or get angry. Because they see you get angry, that's where they can go on in angry. You got to maintain your calmness and show intelligence. And then if you maintain your intelligence, then you start thinking intelligently to where it's like, okay, well, sir, we have a problem here, which I don't understand. I would like you to bring your supervisor around so maybe he can clearly better understand me.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? That way, then he will probably bag out. Well, I'm not messing with just no dumb NIGD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But now, what if the supervisor? What if the supervisor came there and the supervisor would have told her, said, "Young lady, he did ask for your ID. You refused to give the ID. Would you mind showing your ID to me?" Okay. Now at that particular point, and he asked her that, would he be wrong? The supervisor, would he be wrong in asking her that?
Well, in this situation, I would oblige.
Okay, and then he would say, well, why didn't you do this the first time? If you had done this the first time, then it probably related to this point.
Well, if you see how that officer went to that young lady, he went to her in a forcible manner. It kind of like, in a demanding manner. He was more in a demanding manner than what you're saying.
Okay.
It's a way. If I say, give me your ID, he's going to say, no. Automatically going to be, defensive.
Okay.
If I say, can I see your ID? That's the way you do anything to get anything done.
Right. Okay. So.
All right, Nick.
Well, we appreciate the call.
And Nick, let us know where you from again, if you don't mind.
I'm from Memphis, man.
Memphis, okay. All right, cool.
I went to Hamilton High.
Okay. All right. Hey, Nick, we appreciate you. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, bro.
Sure.
Thanks, bro.
All right, 901-213-6020. If you have a question or comment on what we're talking about today. Yes, John.
And I have to break here in a minute.
Yeah.
After the break, I'm going to read what the law is for the state of Oregon when it comes to identification in a police encounter.
Okay.
And what you are to do in said situation.
Okay, we'll read that law from the state of Oregon, and that would be pertaining to this situation.
Yes.
Exactly pertaining to this situation. And we'll read that law coming up after the break. And your comments as well and phone calls are welcome after the break when we come back. You're listening to Talk Back Live with Bob.
And Josh.
It is now 8:58, 58 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock Central Time. And a very pleasant good morning to you on a Wednesday morning. We'll be back after this.
If you're looking for some of the best old-fashioned burgers and steaks in town, Lotta Burger is the place to go for all of your favorites. Lotta Burger, 2260 South 3rd, Memphis, Tennessee, 901-946-2001. They're open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. And the items on their menu include single, double, triple burgers, Philly sandwiches, smoked sausage, beef hot dog, grilled cheese, tenders, fries, onion rings, and more. Call-in orders must be done before 11 a.m. No calls accepted after 11 a.m. Drive-thru is available. Hungry for a burger? Lotta Burger, 2260 South 3rd, Memphis, Tennessee, 901-946-2001. Don't just settle for any burger. Get a Lotta Burger.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges so you can make the changes now to avoid the negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
Big Graphic Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copy, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamp, full color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30 plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Big Graphic Printing.
CJU Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJU Appliances has the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks will say they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJU Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJU Appliances.
All right. Go back to the show, Talk Back Live with Bob.
And Josh.
It is now 9:03, 3 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock Central Time, and a very on a Wednesday morning. Topic today, our main topic is a 21-year-old lady, or riding her bike on the wrong side of the road. And she, officer responded to her and said she's riding on the wrong side of the road. And then he asked for her ID. She refused to show her ID.
So then the officers started to arrest her. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what do you think? Do you think the officer really was out of control here trying to handcuff the lady and to take her to jail just simply because she didn't show her ID? Or is that simple? Did she make it difficult for herself not showing her identification? And the NAACP is now getting involved. Who woke them? Who woke that giant up? The NAACP I'm talking about. Who did anybody wake them up this morning or yesterday, the past few days? Where have they been? Anyway, I'll stay off of that. Hey, they said it's all unlawful and inhumane.
Yeah.
What do you think, folks? 901-213-6020 or yes, Josh, go ahead.
So here's the main determining factor, and I think we can find out literally on this show right now.
Yeah.
Whether it was lawful or not, what happened.
In the state of Oregon, we have that law.
Yes. So here's what you are to do when stopped by police in Oregon. I'm going to read just a couple of things here and get right to that exact point here.
Right.
Of course, the typical thing, stay calm and in control of your words, body language, and emotions.
Stay calm and in control of your words.
Yeah.
Your words, what you say to the officer and how you say it.
And I'm going to tell you something. To be honest with you, I think up until the end, she did a good job of that.
Okay.
Now, she was asking what law did she break, but she wasn't really being belligerent. She was saying, yes, sir, I understand. And her voice was rather calm.
Okay.
Now, toward the end, I think was the situation with the identification.
And she said she's not going to answer any questions.
I got you, but I'm going to just roll down this real quick.
Okay.
Also says don't argue with police or badmouth officers. If you complain or tell police they're wrong, do so in a non-confrontational way. That will not intensify the situation. Keep hands where they can see them. Don't run. Don't touch the officers. Do not physically resist, even if you believe you are innocent, as to not escalate the situation once again. Also, you do not have to make any statements.
Whoa. Do not physically resist if you believe you're. In other words, the officer decides to arrest you or to put handcuffs on you for temporary, detain you for just some little moment.
Yeah.
Do not resist
physically.
Okay, go ahead.
Then it says you may ask for the officer's name, badge number, and business cards, and all that stuff.
Okay.
You see, here we go. Now, if you have a police encounter, you can protect yourself. If you are stopped, questioned, and or frisked while on foot, in this case on bike, what you say to the police is always important. Be polite at all times. Everything be used against you. Now, here it is. You have the right not to speak.
Now, this is in Oregon.
Yes.
Okay, this is in Oregon. You have the right not to speak.
Yes, you have the right not to speak. To exercise this right, you must say, I would like to remain silent. Here it is. Police also may stop and detain you briefly only with reasonable suspicion that you have committed, are committing, or are about to commit a crime or a violation. However, you do not have to stop unless police order you to. Unless ordered to stop, you may leave at any time, but should ask whether you're free to leave. Now, here's the biggest core of the issue, the identification.
Here it is, folks. In the state of Oregon.
Yes. It is not illegal.
It is not illegal.
Yeah. In Oregon, to refuse to identify yourself.
Okay.
So it is not illegal to refuse to identify when asked.
Okay.
But, is what it says, but police may detain you until they establish your identity.
Read that again now. See, they need to understand this. Read that again.
It is not illegal in Oregon.
It is not illegal in Oregon.
To refuse to identify yourself.
To refuse to identify yourself. You refuse to identify to the officer, is it not illegal to do that?
But police may detain you.
But they may detain you
until they establish
your identity. In other words, what they're saying is you
do not have to what? Read that again. That part, last part there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to identify yourself.
You don't have to identify yourself,
but
okay?
They can detain you.
But they can detain you, even though you don't have the right. You have a right not to yourself, but you also have to understand that the officer do have the right to detain you until what?
They find out your identity.
Until they find out your identity. Simply meaning, you don't have to give your ID. But if they decide that they want to identify who you are, until they to detain you until they find out exactly who you are.
So, guys, and I read that. So, and once again, this is pertaining to the Oregon State student, the black woman that was detained by police. They could also put resisting if they wanted to. Now, look. Don't get me wrong. I can understand a person being scared if you're getting grabbed by the police.
Right.
But especially if you've never been in that situation. But at the same time, you have to know all of the surrounding circumstances and what you can end up getting yourself into.
But here we go, Josh. Like I always said, this is where we need to teach our black people, and everybody need to teach everybody.
Yeah.
When you're stopped by the police, okay. Make sure that you obey the officer, okay? And if he asks for your identification, in Oregon, you don't have to present your identification if you don't want to, but
you got to know what'll happen.
You got to know what the next step is going to be. The officer does, if you refuse to show your ID, the officer do have the right to detain you until he finds out exactly who you are.
Now, here's a question I'll ask. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that's a good thing? Now, I think this is probably the case most places, this type of law, right? I'd imagine it's probably the same everywhere.
Maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe.
But
just let me know, what do y'all think about that situation? Do you think that's fair? And be real with me now. Knowing what we know now, is it a fair thing to say that the police in this particular situation did anything illegal or irresponsible?
Or racist.
Or racist, yeah.
I mean, if she's riding on the wrong side of the road, is it a racist? Is it a racist thing for the officer to actually stop her and then want to identify her? Or, have just said, okay, you're on the wrong side of the road. You need to get on the other side of the road riding, and just let it go. Now, and I understand some people say that, but you got to understand each officer has his way of dealing with situations.
I agree. Now, again, I just want to ask this question, not to get too far away from. Not that we can't go other places, but I want the people to understand the question. Do you think the police did anything wrong in this situation, knowing what we know now about Oregon law? I had to finish it for you.
Okay, I didn't get your name there. My other guy was talking.
Yeah.
Give me your name again.
Jet. Oh, Jet, what's up?
Jet. Welcome to the show. Good morning. I can't hardly hear him that well, Josh. Turn that up a little bit. Jet, welcome to the show. Good morning on a Wednesday.
Good morning. And I've been in and out, and I missed the rules or the law part of that. Could you state it one more time real quick?
Yeah.
It's not going to change what I'm about to say, but I just want to know.
Okay, all right, let's see. I'm going to just go to the main part here. With the ID, they said it's not illegal in Oregon to refuse to identify yourself, but the police may detain you until they establish your identity of who you are. They say they also may stop and detain you briefly, only with reasonable suspicion that you have committed, are committing, or are about to commit a crime or a violation. So there's that.
Is that it? Okay. Yeah, so now we still have to establish this riding a bike a certain way is an actual violation, right? And even if it is, then this still speaks to whatever I'm about to say, because you have a right to refuse it, and the police have a right to if they have a reasonable suspicion of you, da-da-da-da. That becomes the problem, and that's the problem in this case. Now, when we say the young lady should have just complied or she was wrong, she helped to instigate it, et cetera, by doing that, then I disagree with that, because if you're living in a society that you deem to be oppressive, then that's the way you're going to go about challenging those wrong behaviors. You see what I'm saying? So all she was doing was, at this point, was, I'm not help this anymore. I'm going to draw the line here. If they ever stop me, I'm going to stand my ground with this. Okay. That's not being aggressive, combative, or anything. That's asserting your rights as a citizen. It's what she's doing. Somebody has to start that, do it somewhere. And we all agree that there's been a lot of racism going on since President Obama and through Donald Trump has been emboldened in that kind of situation. So, and right now is, I'm going to draw a line. You know what I'm saying? And she's not being mean, aggressive. She's not carrying guns. When they try to assert their rights and show their First Amendment rights, their Second Amendment rights, they walk around with machine guns on their shoulders, daring the cops to say anything to them, et cetera, et cetera. That's a lot more aggressive.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? These people just whenever I get stopped, I'm going to assert my rights and test this law here, right? And that's all she was doing. That's all she, and it was only the cop's ego that made it go that far.
Well, let me
felt like.
Now, I gotta ask this question though, because I don't doubt. Let's say even with egos in play, even if racism, I don't doubt any of that could have been a factor in this. But when you actually look at the law, like at the very letter, let's say, okay, she has the right to not identification. She even said that I don't have to answer any questions, which she does not, according to the law. Now, with her refusing to give her ID, what did the police do at that point? According to the law, they said, okay, well, we're going to have to detain you. And then,
the officer, he can decide to detain you.
What I'm saying is that, but that's what happened.
Right.
He said, hey, I'm going to have to detain you. So, I want to have to do this, but come on. Now, and
keep what Pop said in mind. Keep what Pop bookmarked there, but he just said, now keep going. So go ahead.
So then, understandably, she's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm sure she doesn't even know that that's a thing that they can do. So they're like, hey, just come on. And then, she's backing up. And they're like, oh, Lord, she's about to resist. And then I could just see a whole thing kind of spiraling out of control a little bit. Didn't go as crazy as it could have been. But with the people around watching, they're like, oh, my goodness, we're about to see another one of those things I've seen on the news. So, I feel like this was not like what we talked about yesterday, where the guy,
I feel like this is a textbook classic case of the problem.
Okay.
Because of how it all went down. Because what you have here is not the obvious. Right, so people always want to jump on that, and that's the easy thing to do. The Amber Geiger shot the guy. He had to be eating a bowl of ice cream for this to work out for him in the bad way that it worked out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God forbid she had kicked in and she had come in his house and he turned around and shot her and she was a cop. Oh, that was a cop. She was doing a wellness check. He can't shoot police. It went bad for him, even in his own house with his ice cream, right? Okay. And so when you have these cases are better for me because we can't always get the perfect little sweet scenarios. Sure. But these rules and laws and how we're being treated, these things have to be addressed, faced, and worked out. And this is one right here because, as Pop said, he should have. The problem within us is, okay, even if it's illegal to ride down the wrong side of the road, even if the law said I have to offer my ID, if you keep stopping a certain kind of people for this, and only asking the certain kind of people for their ID, then at that point, even that law I'm going to break because I'm challenging in society just like ride on the back of the bus was right.
Well,
but people had to break the law to challenge that foolishness.
I understand that, but
what was going on?
But here's my thing, though. I get it, but we don't. There's a couple things we don't know, though. One, we don't know in that area whether they're constantly pulling over black people that are riding bikes the wrong direction.
Now, Now, well, this is an opinionated talk show, and we're going off of what we have.
Yeah.
What we
Absolutely.
see here, and what we see, we're bringing our baggage from what we've seen in the past.
Right.
Now, until further information, all I got is what I got. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
You know.
So I'm just saying, like, you know, I hear it, but to me, in everything I've seen so far, has not crossed too many lines yet. Now, I do wish, I will say this, when it comes to bicycles and wrong or right directions, it does have a pettiness to it. You know, it's almost like, there are other laws that people consider petty, right? Like, you don't really have to do that.
And if I was her, and I ride a bike quite often, if I was her, I would have been more pissed than she was. That they stopped me for. Especially in this city. I don't know what kind of city Oregon is. There's a whole bunch of things you could be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then to be beaten up on me. You stopped me because this is an infraction that could hurt me. You're trying to save my life. Did you end up beating up on me?
And I guess...
Well, I mean, you know, he didn't start beating up on her until... she resisted arrest.
Well, they didn't beat up on her.
I mean, I wouldn't say beat up on her. Okay, let me change that. He wasn't beating up on her, I would say. But here's the thing. I think this all started because she resisted and she refused to show identification. I think that's where it started.
Bob,
yeah,
that cannot have started because of that. If you have a legal right not to, you can't say you started it by not doing something you have a right to do.
Right, I agree with you. She had a legal right not to show her identification, but it goes on to say that the officer could, what was it saying? Detain you
if they want to find out.
Who you are.
Now it's up to the discretion of the officer.
It's up to the discretion of the officer. So she didn't have to do that, okay? But
so
at
now
the same
the officer's ego was the one that escalated the whole thing. His discretion would have been different had he felt different. Because if it's me, I'm just ready to go. I'm just like, all right, man, you can run over if you want to. I'm back here screaming your little ugly ass up off the ground.
Now, by him, was it necessary for him to identify her in the first place?
Probably
riding the bike on the wrong side. Why? Unless even the law says that he can only detain her if he has a reasonable suspicion of her breaking some kind of law, criminal activity, or something. He's trying to find out who she is.
Okay.
Like by riding a bike, she didn't have a TV on the back of her shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You know, so that's the problem, and I think his ego escalated the problem.
Okay, and listen. I do agree. If I was an officer and I saw a 21-year-old lady riding her bike on the wrong side of the road, I might have said something to her. Let's say if I did choose to say something to her, okay, I probably would not have asked for her ID.
No, I did.
I probably would have just made the statement, and so on and so forth. Now, it all depends now on how she responded back to me and what she said to me.
And I'm gonna tell you,
she wanted to know the law, the reason what the law he was using that based on, and none of us still has established that law.
No, we haven't.
And she may have a point there, you know.
That's true,
because he never addressed it. You know what I'm saying? With all of his apologies and trying to say I was trying not to go here, he could. It's clearly stated in code that you can't.
So what do we do? If an officer asks for your ID, whether you believe he's right or wrong for asking for your ID, you have a right to resist showing him your ID.
I tell you what I tell. I ain't gonna tell nobody no worse than I tell my son, who's a black gentleman, 6'3", well built.
Yes, sir.
Could easily be viewed as a threat, et cetera, et cetera. I'll tell you no less than what I tell him. I'll tell them, you have a right to stand up for your rights and what you believe in. You don't say you don't have to cow down, bend down, bend over, no police or anything like that. But that they will kill you and know what you're getting into when you step up. When you stand on those principles, know what you're getting into. It can happen. It can go. So don't be sad, mad, or crying on the back end of that because you stepped up and took this challenge. And you take the challenge, you take the heat, accept it. You know, and the same thing with her. She knew what she was doing out there. She was challenging the law. She was challenging racial profiling and things like that. So she's in the middle of the challenge now. Go forward, handle your business, be right, be just, and that's just where we are.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't none of that. I got to get home safe to fight my battle in court. Well, they killing people on video camera and getting off in court, killing folks in their own house and getting a couple of years and protesting that. So what you think without no scuffle, you gonna go complain and the cop gonna get in trouble for his behavior? No way.
Yeah.
You know, that's not gonna even be a crime unless you push it.
Greg,
You know,
Greg,
it's got to get here for it to be a problem.
Greg leaves a statement, and I know you probably have to go. Listen, Greg leaves a statement, and he says, "Josh, can you read this?" He said, "Laws are."
I got it here.
Okay.
And I'm sure Greg's probably gonna call not too long after Jed here. Greg usually does, but Greg says laws are laws. Petty or not, cops don't write laws; they only enforce. There was an engaged couple riding bikes on the wrong side of the road. Now the future husband is dead, and the driver will not be charged because they were on the wrong side of the road. Oh wow!
Well, that's the safety issue of it. There's a thing you're supposed to ride, you know, towards the floor of traffic so cars can see you and you can see cars.
Right.
That's a safety thing, but that's not a law. That's for your safety. That's like, because the dude in the car, more than likely ain't gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that's for your safety. That's a rule, a safety thing, and all that.
Do you think that
Greg's problem with his whole statement is this? He's presuming that this petty law is actually a law. We still hadn't established that yet. You know what I'm saying? And if she's breaking the law, then she has to show her ID, et cetera, et cetera. But she didn't know what the law was, and he didn't bother to tell her. When people stop you, the cops don't just ask you for your ID. They say you speeding, you're going over there. I clock you at this much. I need to see your driver's license, et cetera, et cetera. They tell you what the problem is.
Okay, when
you understand. And if you say, "Oh, what's the speed limit on this street?" They say it's 65, and you were doing 70. You're like, "Oh man, I thought sure I was going slower, et cetera, et cetera." But he didn't bother explaining to her what law she broke. You got people have that's part of the Miranda. You got to tell the people what they did, what they've been detained for, and that, you know, the rights are symbiotic. You know, I got rights, and I owe you rights, and you have a duty, and I owe it to you to make your duty as decent and easy as possible. But you got to give me some. You know, can't just have me out here showing my papers.
Yeah, Greg. I mean, Jet. I'm sorry. Hey, it may not, there may not be a law, some people may say, but if the officer asks you to do something, does it become a law at that time when he asks you to do something?
Nope. Only if
it depends on what it is.
It all depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But let's say, for instance, if the officer asks, "Okay, I need education," has that officer broken the law?
I don't know if he's breaking the law, but he's outside his authority. That's for sure.
Okay, so he has no right to. He has
for no reason. No.
Okay, but if the officer does, and you feel it's for no reason, if he does actually show the ID, do you think we need to teach our young people, go ahead and show your identification, just so that they won't?
No, I don't.
You think they should? You think they should resist?
If you push that line, then they go back further. It's going to go past ID. And next thing you know, you're going to be, I don't know, giving officers sexual favors on the side of the road because you're scared to say anything back. You know, it ain't like these are perfect.
Well, that's breaking the law.
Y'all had a candidate y'all introduced me to that was doing such a thing. You see?
Yeah, see, now you're breaking the law because you solicited.
Now they could handle that after, you know, if they show the outside identification. They don't want to. If they show the identification, they could handle that if they feel they were violated after the fact, as long as no one was hurt in this particular situation.
That's not going to be a problem.
Okay.
What's the problem? What's the pain? What's the suffering? What did it cause you to show your ID? Then that's going to keep going on. The line's going to get pushed back till they have no recourse, and then they're back in the saddle as these unpunishable people with all power.
Okay.
You just can't have that. You know?
Okay. All right, Jet, as always, we appreciate your call.
Man.
Thank you kindly.
Yes, sir. All right, 901-213-6020, 9:28, 28 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock Central Time. A very pleasant good morning to you on a Wednesday morning, and thanks to Christina Shepard out of Atlanta metro area has called in. I mean, not called in, is watching this morning. We want to appreciate you for that. And we are talking about 20-year-old situation, young lady in Oregon, riding her bike on the wrong side of the road, and the officer asked for her ID. She refused, and so he says, "Well, if you don't give me your ID, then I have to place you on the." Mm-hmm. Was the officer wrong? Okay, let's in some show your ID, but it does say that the officer has the right to identify you, and the only way he can is to place you under arrest and find out who you are.
Call from
James.
James, welcome
up,
to the
James?
show. Good morning on a Wednesday.
Where you been, man?
Oh, I've been out here, man. You know what's up, man.
Yeah, I know you be out here, man.
Yeah, we know, James. Good morning.
I've been out here slipping and sliding. You know what's up,
Don't
man.
do that.
Nah,
Don't do that, James.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, James.
Yeah, your format done changed though on your Facebook page. Ain't no chat.
You don't see no chat, man? Yeah, the chat
Okay,
is
maybe
there.
No, I see comments. I don't see a chat.
Oh, well, okay. I don't know if it's any different, but
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, you can still leave comments, though.
You can leave
'Cause
comments.
I'm looking at it.
There are other people leaving comments, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I hit a wrong button or something. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't with this technology, man. I be, my phone, the game, man. It be calling these girls. I'll be wanting to talk to them, and my phone be butt down and just blow my game up, man. Just throw me out.
Just because of technology?
Oh, man.
No, Bob, you know what I'm saying? The phone, it'll call people you don't want to call, and it throw you up like you thirsty or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I understand the
guess.
plight.
I
I can't say it's happened to me, but I feel what you're saying.
I guess. Go ahead.
Hey, but no, you talking about the little girl on the bike, right?
Yes.
Well, little girl. I don't say little girl. She's
College.
21 years old.
Something like that.
Yeah,
grown woman, but she should have just showed the ID, man. I don't know why they fight and whine for nothing. There's no reason to do that. And what did she expect them to do? What do they expect? These black people, what do they expect the police to do? Dance? What they want to dance? Hey, would you like to dance? Hey, excuse me, can I have?
Oh, man. You think so? Do you think they're being unreasonable in a lot of these situations,
or do you think?
Excuse me, can I have this dance?
So you think black people want police gentle?
I guess, man. I mean, like, what do they want? The man said, I need to see your ID.
Okay.
She said, no. I need to see I need you to show me the specific law that I broke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't give me the opportunity to do that. Now, I mean, you comply with the officer's order, or they're going to arrest you. If you resist arrest, they're going to physically take you in.
Okay, is it a good thing for us to inform anybody, young people especially, or anybody that, hey, if you don't want to show your ID, just say, hey, you don't have to show your ID. Should we encourage that type of thing?
If you don't show your ID, then show your wrist and accept the handcuffs and deal with that.
Oh, wow.
I'm saying, I don't get it. No, I saw the video. A very young, petite, attractive young lady at that. I will give her that. Mm-hmm. But she was woefully misinformed. Okay. Woefully misinformed. If I was a parent or someone in her orbit, I would say, no, don't ever do that. Mm-hmm. No, you're precious to be thrown on the ground
and mauled by police officers. No. Give them the ID.
Okay.
Okay, let them lie. They're lying on me. Okay, allow them to lie on you. We'll deal with that after. But don't let them don't let them maul you. Don't let them abuse you or physically take you. I felt I see the NAACP and all that. They done got involved. Look, that don't even apply. She should have complied. She'll probably wind up getting some type of money because people feel sorry for her or something. But it was stupid on her part for her to sit there and fight with them. I don't get it. What was the fight for?
Yeah. But, it says that she didn't have, in that state, they didn't have to show the ID, but it did say that, Josh, that the police officer could detain her if they don't have any identification. I know who a person is. Yeah. Not only her, but anybody. They can detain you until they find out exactly who you are. And I think that's the law here in Tennessee.
Yeah, because they said you can refuse to give them an ID, but the
consequences you may face after that.
They can pull you in if they want to, if they choose to
go further.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't. I didn't get it. It's like if it's me, I'm on a bike or whatever. They pull up. They ask me questions. I'm looking at them, and then they say, "Hey, can I see your ID?" I'm giving them my ID. Even though I don't have to, I'm not going to fight with them because why? I don't have anything to hide. Just get away from me. I'm like, okay, there's my ID. Okay, bye.
Even if
my ID.
Even if a person thinks that the officer may be racist or he's prejudiced or whatever.
Could care less. I give them my ID. They run my ID. I know I'm clean. They leave me alone. They leave me alone.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm saying this young lady, she got what she wanted. If she wanted to fight, she got it. If they want to go fight with somebody, they're gonna get what they want. And them guys, they don't understand that. Them guys are half of them are their adrenaline is escalated. They're paranoid. Most of them are paranoid. They do fear that somebody's going to pull out a weapon and pop them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm saying you're dealing with someone who's not coming at you under the same circumstances. They're afraid. They're hyper emotional. So when they do confront you, you're dealing with a person who is off the charts, as far as their emotions, and and because they really do think that someone's going to, shoot them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that line of duty, I mean, you never know. But I will say this. I think if you're a cop, man, I mean, come on now. You can't be out here just shaking and shivering, for every little situation. Like, oh, Lord, they're going to shoot. No, just go. You don't need to be an officer. You out here shaking and shivering.
But they
like that, John.
I know, but they have to understand, just like going in the military.
Yeah.
One of the things that people used to say when you went to the military and then all of a sudden the president decide or Congress decide, hey, we're going to send you to Iraq and you have to fight in the war. And then the people get upset, say, hey, that's not right for them to send the boys and girls over there to fight and that type of thing.
Way.
But the thing about it is that's what they signed up for. That's what they get paid to do.
But I'm saying the cops is a little bit different, but you don't know. Look. If those guys broke their laws or whatever, not laws, but the procedures. If they did something wrong, if they weren't supposed to request their ID, if they did something that they'll be punished. It's on the cam was on, so they'll be punished. But I didn't see anything wrong with them requesting, telling her, this is what we need to do, and her refusing to show ID. I didn't see anything wrong. I don't understand why she refused to show the ID.
Now, check this out.
It doesn't make any sense.
I found out a little bit more. So I'm looking here. That cam footage is a lot longer than what they showed on the news, of course, you would figure. But evidently, the police went back and forth with her verbally for 20 minutes. Before they, finally detained her there on the street. Now,
that's what the other video was showing, James,
and
that they went back and forth with her for about 20 minutes after asking for her ID.
Yes.
They asked for her ID and then went back and forth for about 20 minutes, pleading with her.
A courtship. A courtship.
It's a courtship, okay.
Yeah.
and tell the people what you mean by that.
Nah, that's way too long. If I'm that cop, man, I get out. If I got a report, we're looking for a specific blah blah blah. I got a report. I'm cruising the neighborhood. I see a suspect, which happens. She fits that, the profile. I'm out of the car. I'm like, okay, excuse me, hold up. Mm-hmm. I'm a police officer. I need to do some things. I could care less about her questions and her resistance. I'm like, okay, look, this is what I need to know. Blah blah blah. Okay, can you identify yourself? No, boom. I'm taking her down. I'm cuffing her, throwing her in the back seat. I could care less about her and that crowd. I could care less about these. Let them whine. I go buy them a poster board. They can go protest. If she's clean, I put her out the car. She can do whatever she wants. She can fly if she wants to. But all of that yap, that 20 minutes of yap, back, yap. Hello, can I buy it? Hey, excuse me, miss, can I have this dance? Excuse me, miss, can I buy you a drink? What's your name? What's your favorite? I wouldn't do that. Now, to me, if they did that, they were wrong. I'm not doing that. Okay. I'm going to get out. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to follow the rules. If someone called it in, I'm going to try to find out what's going on. All that other stuff, I don't want to hear that.
So the officer talked with her for 20 minutes. After asking for her ID, they pleaded with her.
And you know what, though?
For 20 minutes after that. So now, do you think if the officer is prejudiced or racist, that he would have pleaded with her for that amount of time?
You know what, though? I got to say this to flip it, and I want your thoughts, James, too. But to be honest with you, 20 minutes is a ridiculous amount of time to talk to somebody. Either you're going to detain them or you ain't. Like, all this talking, there could be other stuff going on. It ain't that serious. And plus, now, here's another thing. Mm-hmm. As I read some more of the story here from Fox 12 in Oregon. I'm laughing at
GKP
and Jet and GKP.
Of course, we can't repeat what. Anyway.
So, all right, even the Oregon State University, they contract with the Oregon State Police to provide security. They called the incident troublesome, and they are now reassessing their contract with the police agency, meaning they could be reconsidering using them anymore for their campus. So far, the woman involved is not facing charges, but she was issued a $265 citation for bicycling on the wrong side of the road.
Wow.
Which she is disputing. So now, as more information has come about, they talked to her for 20 doggone minutes for about a bike. And
they mapped at her, Josh.
You think they're trying to holler at her. So you had that going on. They gave her a $265 citation after taking her to jail. And that's it. See, that's what I'm saying. This whole thing was not worth all of this.
Okay.
So I think, looking at this.
It was the resistance. No, it was her. She escalated that. It was the resistance.
And she did.
If you're a student on a campus and you riding your bike on the wrong side of the road, why would you escalate that into an arrest?
Yeah,
that's true.
I guess you can look at it on both sides here.
Yeah,
because I'm telling you, if I'm riding my bike on the wrong side of the road, and the officer tell me, say, "Hey, I need to see your ID." Blah blah. You riding on the wrong side? Sure, officer. Here's my ID. Oh, I didn't. I don't want to ride on the wrong side of the road. I get it on the other side. Just because I know if I resist the officer, then I know he's gonna start resisting me. It's gonna go back and forth, back and forth. Then, if anybody ends up in the back seat of the car, it's going to be me, not the officer.
Say she's going to see her, right? And why would you sit there and fight for 20 minutes with police officers or not? Campus security.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't. What I'm saying is, and then you got what kills me about Negroes is why do Negroes always try? What does it have to do with you? These Negroes with that white man and that yap. The white man, what he did. The white man did this and that. Why? It has nothing to do with you. That's a little girl riding her bike on the side of the road, campus security, off-duty police, probably some rookies doing campus, just simply trying to do their job.
Okay.
The Negroes who always want to protest about everything. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with you. That happened in Oregon. There's a thimble full of black folks in Oregon.
A thimble.
Handful.
Okay.
You probably could put them all on a Greyhound bus. It's not that many out there.
Yeah.
She said she was mixed. I'm telling you, there's not many black people in Oregon. She was wrong. She was 1,000,000,000% wrong. She escalated it. The NAACP and these Negroes who want to whine all the time about the white man, then hopped in on this and make a big deal about nothing. And I'm going to tell you something, that woman don't care nothing about you stupid, nappy-headed Negroes. She ain't thinking about you Negroes. I'm talking that woman that they arrested.
Yeah.
That woman's so far from you. She does not. That woman that was arrested does not identify with these nappy-headed Negroes. I'm telling you that. You need to get that through your head. She's not even remotely related to you. Now, she might identify herself like that for some sympathy and some money. But when all is said, when that dust settles, that woman finna go right back there. You need to go to Oregon to see what I'm talking about. That woman who look like you and she don't identify with you. Believe that.
Okay. All right.
Now, she just escalated that thing, and she'll get her bag. And that's what a lot of these Negroes are doing now. They're doing that on purpose so they can get viral video so that they can get a bag, a payment, a cash payment for what they could perceive as police harassment. And now she got done like this for riding a bike. I hope black folks don't think this. When you go out here and robbing these stores or committing these crimes, you're gonna get killed. You ain't gonna get. You're gonna get a coffin.
Okay.
Because you're not gonna be treated the same way. NAACP done already hopped on this, and here come Benjamin Crump with that bad English, with that.
Okay. Look, you just go in it. Look, first of all, I know, look, it don't matter, Benjamin. He's just talking where the people can, at the people's level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what Jet says here, Josh, read what Jet says there.
Let's see.
I can't see the comments. I don't see the comments no more. I don't know what happened.
Okay, well, we're going to read one comment to you that Jet said to you.
Which one, the last one?
Yeah.
Let's see. The girl?
No, James needs to stick to.
Oh, okay. Let me go back. I had to look at my phone there because this laptop's a little bit behind. I got the one right before that one.
I know all about Oregon, man. Okay, people need to go there. People need to travel, man. Everything's not Memphis. It's a completely different thing.
Here he says James needs to stick to
talking about loving one-legged hermaphrodite midgets.
Wait a minute.
I ain't never had one.
He's way off on.
Oh Lord.
I could be. No. Hold on. Out of respect, look, I'm not perfect, man. I could be totally wrong. Those are just my thoughts.
I feel you. And then GKP says that Don Imus reference with the nappy-headed H's.
Yeah.
Then Jet says you straight out of Fox News now.
I'm not. I'm simply telling you, if you go look at that video with an open mind, you'll see that she caused all that. All she had to do was just do what the man was asking her to do. All he said was just show me some ID. What are you going to do? You riding a bike on the wrong side of the road. What are you going to do, 10 years for that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, James, but, hey.
And she don't identify as African American. I'm telling you, they doing that to get a bag, bruh. They doing that to get a bag.
And when you say get a bag, that means get some money, in case folks don't know the vernacular.
Yes.
But yeah.
Okay,
I
James.
feel you, James.
All right, man. We appreciate your comment.
All right, bro.
All right. Okay.
And Jed, the Benjamin Crump reference had me crying as well. Because that dude does not sound like an attorney at all when he talks. So, yeah. So, anyway.
901-213-6020. And do you think the young lady should have just complied with the officer, shown her ID, and everything would have been okay? Or do you think the officer was being unreasonable in asking for her identification? Was it unreasonable? What does that make him a racist officer or prejudice or whatever, and by asking for her identification? This is a situation to where she was riding her bike on the wrong side of the road. Or do you think this type of stop, what this officer did, was it was something that was petty? I mean, there were other things to do rather than stop a person with a bike riding on the wrong side of the road.
And that this is inhumane and unjust treatment across America.
That's what the NAACP in Dr. Martin Luther King's voice.
Should not and will not be tolerated here or anywhere else.
They know they don't talk like that. They don't. That's not their voice. When they're at home with their family, they don't be talking like that. When they out eating dinner with somebody at a certain, I don't know, they don't be talking like that. Come on, man. Y'all need to get off of that NAACP. Hadn't heard anything out of them in 40 years.
Look, pass the greens. Pass the greens. Thank God Almighty.
We're passing the greens. Come on now. They need to get off of that stuff. And I know they're more intelligent than trying to, I mean, come on, folks. And a lot of these guys are very intelligent.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's a pastor.
Yeah, well,
and usually, like, you hear a lot with the King rhythm. Not sure where it comes from.
We do understand that racism exists. And we, the people of the people, for the people,
we the people of the people, for the people. I thought he was going to say by the people. He didn't put. He forgot that part. But at any rate, folks, be real. Be real. I mean, this guy here was just as he was just as funny a left eyelash for a right eye.
A left eyelash for a right eye.
And the left eyelash put on a right eye. Whatever.
That is an original right there.
That's an original.
What in the world?
That was so phony. But what do you think? Was this young lady wrong in not showing her ID to the officer? The state of Oregon says they don't have to show their ID. But what follows that could cause them to be in trouble if they refuse. The officer has the right to detain you if you refuse, if he needs and wants and sees that it's possible to identify you. That's what's going on in Oregon. And that's the thing that's the situation around most of the country.
Yeah.
I mean, so what are you going to do? Just leave home without your ID and so nobody can identify you? If they don't know who you are, man, if you're walking down the street and you do something crazy and the officer looks at you and says, hey, okay, well, we're going to stop and see what's going on here. They have the right, if they're suspicious, to stop and see what's going on. If you're walking, if you're riding a bike, it doesn't matter. They have the right to stop and see what's going on. And if they stop and see what's going on, they are going to want to know who you are. And they can't find out who you are unless they get some identification on you.
and to refuse to show your identification, then that stops everything right there that they're looking for, and they have to take other measures.
And I want to say,
or probably feel they need to. Yes, Josh.
I want to say another thing. I think Jet just brought it up, and it's kind of to another point. And James brought it up first, actually. Well, first Greg says big nothing burger, which is one of his catchphrases there. Jet says, "Oh, I thought that right off as I saw her." Now he's referencing, I believe, when James said that she doesn't even identify as a black woman. Now I've seen, and I could see that. You know, certain people that, you know, people say don't act or portray the culture or look like another culture, so to speak, if you know what I'm saying. And honestly, I hadn't seen her face, you know, because it was blurred out. But looking at her complexion, I mean, I don't think you right off you would just recognize a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're just in passing and you see a situation going on. I don't know, you know, that kind of, to me, a little bit questions the whole thing about race in the first place. Is it more just about police conduct and citizen conduct? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When a citizen and the police interact, who should do what and what's appropriate and what's not, rather than the race component. Because, you know, she's not obviously black. I mean, she is. She's black, but it's not obvious. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
It's not like,
but does that matter, though? If she's black, she's black.
Well, it matters because
you don't go by whether she look like she's black or not. If she's black, she's black.
Well, no, I mean, that's true, but what I'm saying is when people are saying discrimination, if you can't really tell, you know, it's just me, you know, like, it's not that obvious.
Is she a very light-skinned woman?
Yeah, like real light.
Okay, but you can tell she's black, though.
Yeah, and if I have the right person that I'm seeing on Facebook, because I looked the name up.
Okay.
But y'all let me know about that, too. Now, Greg also says, real quick, because I know we got to get up out of here, NCAACP needs to sit this one out.
Yeah, they really do.
Jet said that boy added his own reverb. I'd like to add a side of cornbread.
But anyway. Yeah, anyway.
But I'm not concerned about that now.
That's the real.
I just want to do God's will.
That's the real Dr.
Yeah,
King.
that's legit.
All these other things going on out here trying to sound like him, you know, they need to sit down somewhere. Go get some pig feet and black-eyed peas and cornbread or something.
Hey, that's not bad now.
That's not bad. But
pig
feet,
you could do worse.
Yeah, no.
Oh, pig feet are the bomb.
Yeah,
it's been forever. It's been years since I've had pig feet, but they're the bomb.
Yeah, well, pickled pig feet. Pickled pig feet.
What?
You know, pig feet in a jar.
I've seen that mess. Is that any good?
Pig knuckles in a jar.
Now see, now we
getting at it. With the vinegar type stuff. You put the pig knuckles in a jar and eat it out of the jar.
See,
you know.
Now
I don't. Boy, that has been so long since I've had that. Wow. Are they still packaging that stuff in a jar like that?
I've seen them. Yeah.
Really?
Now we've really gotten out of hand because this stuff looks creepy to me. Look like a science experiment.
Yeah.
TP says this video.
Stop. America.
Yeah.
Should not and will not be tolerated here or anywhere.
Here. Or anywhere.
Or anywhere else. Anyway. Okay. All right. That's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for all your comments.
If I read this one, GKP says, why, Josh? Because she lights her head wasn't nappy?
If her head ain't nappy, then her soul ain't happy.
Gotta let your soul glow.
All right. Yeah. All right. Hey, that's gonna do it for us today. Thanks for all your comments. Real important. Real sense. Jet, stop, Jet.
Greg said he used to love pickled pig feet as a kid.
Oh, really?
Totally disgusting now.
Oh, come on, Greg. And I need to find one of those bottles of pig feet in a jar. With the bigger, not with bigotry, not bigotry, but the vinegar. It's been so long. Wow, I'm surprised.
I don't see how y'all could do like that. What does it do? Does it make it taste like a pickle?
I guess it's the vinegar taste, and it's soft. It's real.
It's
soft.
Soft?
You eat it off the bone. It's the fat on it, and they have a little lean on it. But I mean, it
ain't crunchy. Is it?
I can taste it now, but it's been so long.
That's creepy.
Since I've had it in the jar like that.
Just sounds like a gay bar.
That's we got to go now. We got to go now.
Speaking of that community, they got away today because we had something for them.
Yeah.
We'll probably do that. Well, definitely tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow. The Jet said, yes, I wasn't going to add that part because the issue is a black issue. That's the reason
they chose Rosa Parks instead of Claudette Colvin. Rosa was fair-skinned and educated. Claudette was chocolate and from the hood.
Oh,
now if y'all know, now Claudette Colvin was, from what I heard, was the actual first person to do what Rosa Parks did.
Mm-hmm.
But they got behind her because she wasn't as dark and a little bit more educated than Claudette Colvin.
Wow, you believe that?
Claudette was the NAACP has always suffered from that when choosing causes, so that's interesting.
Yeah. Wow. So they end up. That's we
so they're prejudiced.
Wow. The NAACP racist against their own people,
or skin is
or light skinned or dark skinned. Wow.
We got messages coming. Okay, we got to get
out. We got to get out of here. Holler at y'all later. Greg, thanks for listening. And all of you, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow on another edition of Talk Back Live. Have a wonderful day.
And unjust treatment across America should not and will not be tolerated here or anywhere else.
If you're looking for some of the best old-fashioned burgers and cakes in town, Lotta Burger is the place to go for all of your favorites. Lotta Burger, 2260 South 3rd, Memphis, Tennessee, 901-946-2001. They're open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. And the items on their menu include single doubles, triple burgers, Philly sandwiches, smoked sausage, beef hot dog, grilled cheese, tenders, fries, onion rings, and more. Call in orders must be done before 11 a.m. No calls accepted after 11 a.m. Drive-thru is available. Hungry for a burger? Lotta Burger, 2260 South 3rd, Memphis, Tennessee, 901-946-2001. Don't just settle for any burger. Get a Lotta Burger.
Are you tired of going to the doctor with the same issue over and over again and never getting any relief? Are you tired of buying all types of vitamins and supplements, hoping but not knowing for sure that they will keep you healthy? Or are you getting enough of the right kind of nutrients that your specific body needs? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need a nutritional blood analysis. With a nutritional blood analysis, we can take one drop of blood from a prick of your finger and analyze your body's nutritional needs, nutritional deficiencies, and nutritional imbalances. This analysis can provide an early warning of possible future health challenges so you can make changes now to avoid the negative outcome. A nutritional blood analysis can be used to monitor a health challenge before and after adopting an approach to restore health and balance. It will also allow you the ability to determine the effectiveness of various approaches to restoring and balancing your health. So don't wait. Make your appointment. Stop guessing with your health. Know what works for sure. 901-602-7063.
Graphic Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copy, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamp, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphic Printing.
CJU Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJU Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks will tell you they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJU Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJU Appliances. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue, here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.